Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. So today we are going to continue with topic 10, which is coordination. Under this topic there are 4 subtopics, but today I'm going to focus on 10.2, which is mechanism of muscle contraction. There are 2 objectives, which are describe the structure of neuromuscular junction, and the second one is describe the structure of sarcomere. What is neuromuscular junction? Neuromuscular junction refers to the site of chemical synapse. The site of chemical synapse between the axon terminal of motor neuron, over here, the axon terminal of motor neuron, and the skeletal muscle. Axon terminal of motor neuron and skeletal muscle. So this is neuromuscular junction. Motor neuron is the neuron that pass signal from central nervous system to muscle cell and conduct impulse that causes movement. As you can see over here, this is the axon terminal of motor neuron, which form many unmyelinated branches, and at the end of the branches there are many synaptic nodes. So these are the synaptic nodes. Presynaptic membrane refer to the axon terminal membrane. So this is the axon terminal membrane, and also known as presynaptic membrane. And the next one you need to know about postsynaptic membrane, or also known as motor end plate. So this refer to the highly folded sarcolemma. Sarcolemma refer to the plasma membrane, of the muscle cell. Neurotransmitter that is involved in muscle contraction is known as acetylcholine. Neurotransmitter refer to the chemical messenger. So this is the axon terminal, and at the end is the synaptic node. Inside the synaptic node, there are many synaptic vesicles which contains acetylcholine. And over here is the skeletal muscle. The end plate has many receptors for binding of acetylcholine. So this is the end plate, or we refer to as sarcolemma. So this is the sarcolemma, or also known as end plate. And on top of the end plate, there are many receptors for binding of acetylcholine. And you need to know about the synaptic cleft. Synaptic cleft refer to the gap, or to the junction between presynaptic membrane and postsynaptic membrane. The next one, we are going to continue about the structure of sarcomere. So this is our muscle. If we see inside this structure, we can see the bundle of muscle fiber. Single muscle fiber is known as myofibril. The next one is 10.2b, which is describe the structure of sarcomere. So our muscle is long and cylindrical in shape. The skeletal muscle cells is called muscle fiber. So this is bundle of muscle fiber, and if we zoom in, this is the single muscle fiber or single muscle cells. Each muscle cell has many myofibrils. So inside each muscle cell, there are a lot of myofibrils. So this is myofibril, and inside the myofibril, there are many segments called sarcomere. What is sarcomere? So sarcomere refer to the basic or functional unit that make up skeletal muscle. And you need to know about the specific terms that we use for muscle cells, which are sarcolemma. Sarcolemma refer to the cell membrane of the muscle cells. So this is sarcolemma. Sarcoplasm is the cytoplasm of the muscle cells, and sarcoplasmic reticulum refer to the endoplasmic reticulum of the muscle cell. Sarcolemma has many inward extensions called transverse tubules or T-tubules. So this is sarcolemma or the plasma membrane of the skeletal muscle, and this hole is called T-tubule. T-tubules and sarcoplasmic reticulum wrap around myofibril. So this is the sarcoplasmic reticulum, or also known as endoplasmic reticulum. SR, sarcoplasmic reticulum near T-tubules, enlarge and called terminal cisternae. So over here is the terminal cisternae. The function of terminal cisternae is to store calcium ion. T-tubules are located in between terminal cisternae of sarcoplasmic reticulum. So this is the terminal cisternae, and this one is also terminal cisternae. So actually, T-tubules are located in between terminal cisternae. Each myofibril is composed of two types of myofilament, which are thin filament and thick filament. So if you look at this diagram, the red line refers to the thick filament, while the blue line refers to the thin filament. And this whole structure is known as myofibril. Each thin filament consists of three types of protein, which are actin, tropomyosin, and troponin. So this is actin. The ball-like structure is actin. Tropomyosin. This is tropomyosin. And the last one adalah troponin. So this is troponin, or also known as troponin complex. Actin. For actin, you need to know that it consists of binding site actin So the function of the actin is it has the binding site for myosin head. Tropomyosin is the long, thin strand that fit in the groove of actin strand. And the function of tropomyosin is to cover the binding sites of myosin head in actin. And the last one is troponin. The function of troponin is it has the binding site for calcium ion. And for your information, thin filaments are joined together by a filament called the Z line. So this is the Z line and this is the thin filament. Next, the structure of thick filament. And for thick filament, it consists of only one type of protein, which is known as myosin. Myosin has two regions, which are myosin head and the second one is myosin tail. The thick filaments are arranged parallel to each other and they are held together by M lines. So this is the M line. Myosin molecules are oriented in opposite direction, starting from the M line with the head protruding outwards. So if you see the head of the myosin, it is protruding outward and it is opposite. It is opposite, oriented opposite, starting from the M line. The next one, we are going to discuss more about myofilaments. Thin filaments are attached to Z line. So if you look at this structure, this is the thick filament and the yellow one is the thin filament. The yellow one is the thin filament. The thin filament are attached to the Z line. So this is the Z line. And sarcomere is a segment between Z line. So if you look at this one, this is the Z line and this is the Z line. So in between the Z line, it is sarcomere. And this one is Z line. So this one is sarcomere again. Z line, sarcomere. Z line, sarcomere. Thick filaments are located at the center of the sarcomere. So if we see the structure of the sarcomere, it is located between two Z lines. And inside the sarcomere, there are thin filament and also thick filament. Thick filament are located at the center of the sarcomere. Thin and thick filaments are organized into repeating units called sarcomere. So sarcomere is the basic unit of muscle contraction. So again, sarcomere is the region between two Z lines. Each sarcomere consists of overlapping thin and thick filament. So sarcomere consists of overlapping thin and thick filament. At rest, thin and thick filament do not overlap completely. Area both ends of sarcomere So this is our sarcomere. This is Z line. So area near both end of sarcomere consists of only thin filament, and it is called I band or light band. So if you look at this area, so this area only consists of thin filament, and this area only consists of thin filament. So this region is known as I band. So this region also has thin filament only. So this whole region is known as I band. The full length of thick filament is called A band, dark band. So the area which consists of thick filament is called A band. Thick filament, A band. Thick filament, A band. And continue a bit more. Within A band, light area in the center of sarcomere is called H zone. So we look at the A band. So just now we say that A band consists of thick filament. But if we see over here, this thick filament around here is overlapping with thin filament. But what is H zone? So H zone refer to the region which consists of only thick filament. So only the region that has full thick filament is known as H zone. So this one is H zone, and also over here H zone. H zone is the region of thick filament only, which we found inside the A band.